It's the Friday edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach here along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's director of simulcasting and mutuals. We're going to take a look at the Friday feature and the late pick four. Friday features an allowance test, Jim, and who'd you like?
Well, I think it's a pretty well matched field here. I stuck on a couple of horses, so I'm going to do an exacta box here and then take a try with those horses on top. Couldn't pick between KDO, the 4 for Mike Baker, and Coco's Wildcat, the 9 for Kathleen O'Connell. KDO comes off a game win at Kentucky Downs on the 16th and a $128,000 allowance rate. That's amazing to have to say that at Kentucky Downs, $128,000 allowance rate. But Giroux rides back, second race in the Maker Barn, and has blossomed since they put it on turf. You see these horses all the time, and she didn't do that well in the dirt. They had to drop her down to maiden 20 to get her maiden at Churchill, and then they put her on dirt or put her on turf at Arlington Park, and all of a sudden she just wakes up, and she should have been there all along, it looks like. And last race tells me that she's ready to run a big one here. The Kentucky Downs horses have still done well here. Coco's Wildcat, the 9, comes out of a off the turf effort at Belmont, where she almost won a little stakes race, and with the stakes experience in her background, I think she's ready for a move up here. Kathleen O'Connell is an underrated conditioner, and I think Coco's Wildcat has a real shot. Papa Lopez is riding real well right now. So I would take the 4-9 on top. I'd also use the 6 Asia in the trifecta, Wesley Ward with a very lightly raced filly. And I would throw in probably Homesick Angel at 5 for Miguel Mann, a horse coming off the turf at Ellis Park and ran well last time out. They've tried to get her on the turf twice now. They obviously want to get her on there. This might be the chance where she steps up a little bit. But I'm going to go with KDO, the 4, and Coco's Wildcat, the 9.
Jim, I'm going to take the 3 Toutsy Rules. I saw this horse win first time out at Keeneland last fall. It was really impressive and hadn't really gone on to do what I thought it would do off that day. But Stidham's really good in these turf sprints. You look at his win percentage there. And this horse's last race was its best. So might finally be the light bulb kind of coming on for a horse that flashed a lot of potential first time out. So I like the 3. I'm going to key the 3 in exactas with the 4, 6, and 9. But for the pick 4, I'm just using 2 horses here, the 3 and the 4. It starts in the 7th race. I like Moonlight Sky for Cassie, who's been sensational at this meet, but I'm going to use the 7 and the 8 also. In the 8th race, I like Delusional KK. I'll use the 2 and the 4 also. In the 9th race, I said the 3 and the 4, and then I'm going to use 2 horses in the 10th race, Reader and Tsunami Night, the 5 and the 9. How about you?
I'm going to start off with one of the horses that you mentioned, Moonlight Sky is my pick in the 7th. Don't want a single, however, I don't think she's that great a pick going turf to dirt. So I'm going to use 6, 8, 9. I'm going to use Peggy in Motion for Paco Lopez, and the 9 horse on the outside, Sugar Cone for Rusty Arnold. So 6, 8, 9. 8th race, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take everything, and I'm going to go right at the end with the 4-9 KDO and Coco's Wildcat, the 2 I liked in the feature. And I'm going to single Reader, the 5 horse in the last race, coming off a real good effort at Indiana. And I love those Indiana turf horses coming to Keeneland. A lot of people overlook them. Ran second in a $25,000 non-winners of 2 and drops to 20. I'm going to take Reader as a single in the late pick 4, hoping I get something as a price the 8.
Yeah, you make a good point on those Indiana races because there's some good purses up there. So I think the competition's a little better than people think sometimes. Best of luck on your wagers for the Friday card. Friday is Sea Blue Day at Keeneland, and you can come out with all your fellow University of Kentucky fans and celebrate the weekend at Keeneland. And on Saturday, we've got the Grade 2 Lexus Raven Run, and we'll have a podcast to focus in on that as well as one of the big stakes up in New York. So that'll be coming up down the road from KeenelandSelect.com. This is the In the Money podcast.